What if Minnesota's biggest fraud wasn't committed by who you were taught to suspect? What if whistleblowers were punished, perpetrators protected, and the truth hid in plain sight? This is the What the Farce podcast.
This is not simply a report about one alleged incident of torture. It is presented as a cumulative evidentiary argument. The central thesis is, the victim initially described torture and recognized that an allegation alone would not be sufficient for readers who demand evidence. The posts that follow therefore present documentation of the alleged conduct, relationships, institutional actions, conditions, complaints, records, and outcomes that the victim contends demonstrate a broader system of government-connected criminality and victimization. More specifically, the report can be understood through several interconnected layers. The alleged system. The victim contends that criminal conduct exists within and around Minnesota government, involving government employees, private entities, contractors, landlords, social service workers, and multiple government agencies. The alleged mechanism. The victim contends that vulnerable people, particularly Black and disabled Minnesotans, are subjected to circumstances that create medical disability, financial dependency, housing instability, and eventual enrollment or confinement within government benefit and social service systems. The alleged financial motive. The victim contends that these conditions create a population through which government programs can obtain and maintain federal funding, and that fraud occurs in connection with those funds. The alleged concealment mechanism. The victim contends that complaints are buried, records are falsified or manipulated, victims are discredited through social service documentation, and government and private actors protect one another from accountability. The property example is presented as evidence of the larger system. The victim presents the particular rental property, its alleged conditions, the inspection and licensing history, the alleged treatment of tenants, the alleged trafficking, and the list of agencies notified as a concrete case study showing how the broader system allegedly operates. The alleged victim management process. The victim contends that once someone becomes vulnerable, social workers and other government-connected actors become handlers, placing the person into programs, documenting them in ways that blame the victim, threatening loss of assistance or legal consequences, and preventing the person's allegations from reaching the broader public. The racial dimension. The victim contends that this system disproportionately or deliberately targets Black Minnesotans and connects what the victim describes as contemporary institutional conduct to the longer history of slavery, racial exploitation, and the treatment of Black Americans as economically exploitatable bodies. The political argument. The later portion argues that Minnesota's public image as a progressive, liberal, compassionate, and safe state conflicts with what the victim contends the evidence demonstrates. The victim's argument is that the public-facing political narrative functions as a protective facade for conduct occurring underneath it. The victim's political independence. The section concerning Trump and the white man who attempted to date the victim is intended to establish that the victim's refusal to condemn Trump does not mean the victim is advocating for Trump, Republicans, or any political party. The victim's stated position is that she will not falsely accuse someone simply because another person expects her to, particularly when she believes the Democratic leadership she is criticizing is responsible for harm she personally experienced. The George Floyd example. The victim challenges what she describes as the selective political use of Black death, particularly the invocation of George Floyd after his death, while asking where the same political activists were during the years preceding his death, when, in the victim's argument, the underlying social and institutional conditions were developing. Overall understanding. Structurally, the entire piece presents an argument about evidence, alleged institutional relationships, alleged victimization, alleged financial incentives, alleged concealment, racial targeting, political propaganda, the victim's refusal to participate in what she regards as a false political narrative. The report therefore presents the victim not merely as someone making an allegation, but as the person identifying the evidence, explaining its significance, connecting the documented events, and presenting the resulting argument to the public.